Hello everybody! It's Friday night, it's the round table night, and as you might have been able to see, we have the trio, and we are all back. So, joining us as usual is Sophie B.
Hey guys!
And then of course there's Haverock.
Hello!
Hello all! And how's everybody doing this weekend? I hope you're, well, it's a Friday, it counts as a weekend. But yeah, how is everyone? And are you all back fighting fit, ready for some what-if-ery?
Yes, I am absolutely ready for some what-if-ery. I'm very eager.
Right on, nice.
We are very what and a little bit ifery.
Yeah, nice one. So for those of you who don't know, and this is your first time on the live stream, first of all, welcome. And secondly, this is where you guys can pitch some what-ifs to us, as well as helping support the channel in the form of super chats. You can leave a super chat below, whatever you can contribute at this time. It is all really greatly appreciated, it really is. And it really can help us be total Dragon Ball nerds. And suddenly, on the spur of the moment, like yesterday, do a video about what if Jiren had a good backstory. I hope people have had a chance to give that video a look. That was a lot of fun, and prove that I can write a what if really quickly if I'm really inspired. But we shall begin with one from Manifesto. And this is a bit of a script thing, as in Vegeta in Rose form. Finally, a form truly fitting for a prince, because you got to have a British accent, of course, because it's Rose. Didn't you wear pink before? This is different, and that pink shirt doesn't count ever. And do you not think this form is beautiful? So there you go, because it's the Vegeta thing. Viper Phoenix is next. What if in Nappa's story he went into cooking instead of gardening and possibly got famous for it? He could also introduce interstellar delicacies to Earth and help solve Saiyan hunger.
Nothing can save Saiyan hunger. Nothing can.
Nothing.
It would be quite fun, but I think cooking is more of a Vegeta's thing. You know, we've been thinking about hobbies for Nappa, but I think that gardening is like very close. Like it's important to have all three of our Saiyans turning good. Well, Vegeta is the main one, so we didn't have to do it. So yeah.
Well, if you think about
His thing is cooking. Yeah,
Hab could be growing all the fruits and vegetables and herbs. Hey Vegeta, I got you some rosemary. It'll be good for some focaccia bread.
I'm pretty sure like that what if Nappa versus Vegeta is using, you know, ingredients from Nappa's garden. They're cool now. They're cool now, so
yeah, it's like, hey Nappa, do you have some more tomatoes from your garden? Ah, sorry Vegeta. Rogue Cybermen eat them. They are really bad with tomatoes.
Oh, was it Vegeta Jr. again?
Yeah. He was
Oh
hungry.
my gosh.
Alright, Red Dragon Force 2. Okay. What if Kami was able to have champions represent him in defending the Earth from larger evils, and when one dies, he searches for another one? Ah, a case of
right?
Dead man's boots. That's good, I like that. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it would mean that technically Goku is the champion of the Earth, and in a way, oh, hey Grant, yeah, no super chats, we've only just started, so, just so you know.
Yeah.
But it'd be really good if the World Martial Arts Tournament, the Tenkaichi Budokai, literally actually gave, you know, something that Kami would then actually visit the champion and then make them a champion.
If it was secretly Mortal Kombat but less mortal.
Yes, and it wasn't Shao Kahn, it was Kami. So he'd go, oh, hello there, champion. Would you like to represent the planet in being the world's strongest fighter? I can teach you many things. Just don't touch Popo's stuff.
So in this scenario, Kami is essentially Raiden, and Goku is essentially Liu Kang.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and King Piccolo is Shao Kahn. That fits.
Ah, yeah, nice. Alright, Manifesto. What if Videl chose not to cut her hair after Gohan's advice in DBZ? And what if Gohan forced face Spopovich and Videl instead fought something else? Well, I think Gohan would definitely be able to, like, he would still beat Spopovich, no problem, but it would certainly be something that would freak him out quite immensely, because he'd be like, this guy should be going down now, why isn't he going down? Like, what? And probably Yamu would be the one to, like, siphon off his energy more and more. Videl will probably get a bit further into the tournament and not be beaten half to death. That's something. And as for Videl choosing not to cut her hair, I feel like
AJ would be a much happier person.
Oh, with pigtails. But I think it would just be a case of, like, you know, Videl would take it on board, be like, no, you don't tell me how I cut my hair. Like, as in, like, she's more independent in that sense. Like, she appreciates the compliment, but, yeah, she likes it the way it is. So, it's just more of an independent streak, as it were.
I know a lot of people like Videl's short hair, but I am actually part of the crew who preferred her pigtails.
Yeah.
I actually really liked her longer hair in pigtails, so...
Yeah. Now, I can appreciate them too. I mean, it's Videl. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Great Twitcher. What if Goku had to face consequences for his actions? Right?
Yeah.
Well, we are sort of seeing that in the Moro arc, because even with the latest leaks from the next chapter, it's still more of Goku going like, I don't like this. I don't want to do this. Like,
Aye.
it's like, aye, Vegeta. It's just like,
is this what I've been doing to people all this time?
why didn't anybody tell me?
That's not nice.
Man, I'm a jerk. Well, Craig, I think that... Oh, and Craig says throughout the series. Well, it probably would make him a little bit more grounded and a bit more aware of people's feelings. So basically, you just get a Goku who is slightly more tactful. Slightly. His impulses would still be quite reactionary, but at the same time, he could still be able to temper it a little bit. Right, Viper Phoenix, what if Kais were chosen instead of grown? Not just the Supreme Kais, but all of them, including King Kai. Well, they are sort of, because the Kai tree, actually, depending on the growth, it's all purely by chance. Like, you could get a regular Kai person, somebody like King Kai, and then maybe once every 75,000 years, you get the special fruit that becomes Shinjin, so Supreme Kai, or they become potential candidates for Kais. But then at the same time, you get with Zamasu, he was apprentice to become one, so that's sort of
he was a directional Supreme Kai as well.
So
yeah.
So it's interesting in that sense, but if they were chosen, it would sort of be more the Universe 10 dynamic rather than Universe 7. So something more along those lines. Red Dragon Force 2. What if Dende mentioned fusion early? This is in the Japanese version, episode 240, post-Cell, pre-Boo, specifically for this week's discussion. Well, if Dende mentioned fusion early, then it probably might have given our heroes a little bit more time to prepare it, and maybe Goku might not have had to rush it so soon, because he would have had a bit more time to explain it. Like, Dende and Goku could have shown it together, and then we'd have called Dendoku, or Gode, or something like that. That would have been a good chance for, like, a Mechie and Saiyan fusion. That would have been fun. And more toys to sell.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Love that marketing by Bandai Namco.
Dende's just like, Toei, don't turn me into marketable plushies. Just Manifesto. What if Frieza was originally from Universe 11 and was a reoccurring villain for the Pride Troopers to face? Great chemistry and interaction more often. Oh yeah. But Frieza nowadays, he's more like the pantomime villain. As in like, ah yes, filthy monkeys, I am about here to actually cause havoc for you today. He gets defeated. Curses, Saiyans, I will return. He is now.
The problem is if he was in Universe 11, like like Jiren is a no nonsense guy, and he would just off him.
Yeah. Or basically, it would get to the point where Frieza becomes an annoyance, and they just wheel out Jiren. Yeah. It's like, Jiren, my boy, sicken him at once. Punch once. It's over. What it do? So, there we go.
Omae wa mou shindeiru.
Nani?
Omae wa Jiren.
Oh my god. You are already Jiren.
No, my backstory. Right. Viper Phoenix. What if all of the Frieza or known galaxies saw the fight between Super Saiyan Goku and Frieza and saw him win? How would everyone react to the Empire basically trying to crown Goku their new ruler out of fear and or confusion? Well, if they saw that, King Cold would say, "Oh no, this is a major PR headache." It's like, we have to pretend that this is fake. It's like, and it basically, it's like, but King Cold, this Saiyan has been able to beat your son. How you be like, "You're fake news."
Oh my god.
That is a nasty question I will not be tolerating. Like, "You're fake news." So, and then it was like, "Servants, kill him." And yeah, no, King Cold would be a marketing nightmare. Let's just say that. And they would try and find ways to debunk it. And, it would just be like, "Do you see a Super Saiyan here? No? Then it was all made up." So...
my son was sick and he slept on a banana peel.
No, that's just raspberry jam all over him. It's special tricks and mirrors, yes.
Do you have video evidence of this so-called Super Saiyan? No, I thought not.
Exactly. Craig Twitchell, what if Cell was the Emperor of the Galaxy and Frieza was Jiro's android? Well, if Frieza was Jiro's android, he would certainly have the power thing, and like we did in our Frieza and Jiro teamed up thing, Jiro would have planted a bomb in him. Like, just as like a failsafe, just in case he got a bit too impetuous. And as for Cell, I think again, he would be a fair ruler. He'd be a fair ruler. He wouldn't want, he basically wants to be admired. He wants to be admired, be the strongest, and so long as nothing gets in his way, he'll do that, pretty much. Because he was just going to go out into the stars and live forever, pretty much. Like, it was like loads of different scenarios, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Wolf, what if in Good Boy Nappa we got closure for Tien and Chiaotzu? Goku was pretty upset when Gohan Yamcha'd them, and Kami might have requested they keep their bodies. Well, if it's anything to go by with Dragon Balls, apparently they can preserve dead bodies. Apparently.
Well, yeah. I mean, body preservation was a big deal back in the OG Dragon Ball, because in the original Dragon Ball, you had to preserve the body so that there would be a body for the soul to return to, and then they changed that in DBZ when they introduced the whole concept of like Otherworld, Snake Way, King Kai, etc. But like back in OG Dragon Ball, like anybody who wanted to use the Dragon Balls for the purpose of resurrection, they needed to have the preserved body on hand.
Yeah.
And right now they just do it on their own.
They just do it. Yeah.
Exactly. I can imagine like the Dragon Balls literally talking to each other. You know what would be bad if those hundreds of dead Namekian we have here rotted. Yeah. Let's just leave them. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much it, really. But in terms of Tien and Chiaotzu, I feel like it would be nice if we did, but I feel like at the same time, it's just like, it's one of those things that we probably might do after the tournament. Like, something to kind of like wrap it all up, really.
And again, like on the other hand, I feel that it cannot be too sweet, like no. Some things, some consequences of of the butterfly effect have to be in check. So
yeah, we can't.
I know that you guys won't have hyper happy ending for everyone, but it's like just like certain things have changed.
Yeah. No, I would say that's
personally. I felt like the Tournament of Power would have been better from a stakes perspective. Because thinking about this, about making it all this big happy ending type of thing and stuff like that. Part of the reason why I was so upset with Canon's version of the Tournament of Power was because the stakes had no consequences whatsoever, because everyone who died or was eliminated during the tournament, they got to come back and then some. Frieza got to get his life back. The worlds that had been eliminated throughout the tournament got restored. I think that the Tournament of Power as an arc would have actually been interesting even if like the part of the thing, you still had that whole moral test where it's like, are you going to wish the other universes back? Okay, that's fantastic. You do that, but everybody who was eliminated throughout the Tournament of Power are still dead.
Yeah.
And then you have to be like, oh crud, like now we're working with the B team or even the C team as far as characters who were eliminated go. You know, it's like you have to gradually rebuild the team by either bringing them back with Earth's Dragon Balls or Namek's Dragon Balls, or you of course have to rewrite it so more characters survive than just Android 17. You know, so.
No, I absolutely agree. It would be a good way of upping the stakes in some way. Manifesto.
Consequences are so important, you know. Consequences are so important, and it's part of the reason why people don't care as much about like Western comic books anymore and stuff like that. Is that since Death and Return of Superman and stuff like that, when death became easy in American comic books and it's more just like a 6-month vacation, you know, there aren't any consequences for anything, and consequences are important to having your story have some kind of weight, you know. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling on and on about this.
No problem. Manifesto. What if Toriyama never brought Frieza back after he was slicing the chopped liver? Like, he woke up one day and said, nope, his story is over. Let's go with a different villain returning in Super. It would be Cell. Either that, or he would just be even lazier and just go, oh, it's Cooler. Yeah, just have Cooler. I can't have Frieza, so let's just have Cooler. Just make him canon, because that's what people want.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is Toriyama we're talking about here. Basically, you're asking us to be Toriyama in this one, Manifesto. So we're basically thinking Toriyama's like, oh yeah, he has a brother. I'll do that. Resurrection C.
Oh yeah, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, they made Broly canon, and it turned out to be a huge success. I mean, it's like what it's the most profitable anime movie or something of all time. Yeah. So the idea of like, oh well, we made this movie villain canon. Who was the most popular movie villain after Broly? Oh, Cooler. Let's do that. I mean, it writes itself.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. It's Cooler. Papa Poto. What if the duo of DBZ, Goku, and Vegeta met the duo of Eraserhead and Present Mike? The interaction recognized similarities could be hilarious. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But the whole thing with like, jeez, where would you even start? Like, it's basically just like, you know, like with, oh man, I wouldn't even know where to begin. But either way, something of like a psychological horror with Goku, it'd be your own psychological horror because it's DBZA Goku. Because you just go round and round in circles. It was enough to make the Emperor of Universe 7 basically crumble. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Who and who? I heard with
Present Mike.
Oh gosh, so like if these characters met My Hero Academia characters, is that what the question was?
I don't know.
Repeat the question. Repeat the question, please.
Sorry. I think it was like, I was getting wrong with like the other 1977 movie. I was talking about like meeting like the people of like Shota, Eraserhead, you know, and Present Mike.
Who is meeting them?
Goku and Vegeta from DBZA.
I don't know, because honestly, it's like when you really think about it, Vegeta personal people and isn't.
Oh no, Sophie, you'll become a robot. Oh no! I think it's on my side.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Next.
Oh no! I'll reconnect. Terribly sorry about that, everybody. I will try and get them back on. Let's try that. Hello. Hello. I don't know what's going on here. That is really, really strange. I'm still getting things like, hello. Alright, I'm just gonna exit out Discord and stuff like that. Try that. Oh, that.
I mean, they cannot hear us when Mas isn't here.
Hi.
Okay.
Oh no!
No, I'm here.
Okay, can you hear us both well?
Yeah, no, it's fine now. It was weird because I was like logging on 4 or 5 times. It was like, yeah, sure, you're on there, but
Yeah.
No, you're definitely not. But yeah, so you were saying about that? So you were carrying on saying
Yeah, so Aizawa isn't the most personable. Honestly, Goku and Vegeta both aren't really personable. They'd rather be doing anything else other than meet new people. The only one who'd probably be any kind of interested in knowing about them would probably be Present Mike. And the most I could see it happening is it's like if he witnessed their abilities or something like that, Present Mike might see an opportunity to use it to boost numbers for his radio show. But honestly, I'd be more interested in seeing meetings between characters like Gohan and Izuku, or like Trunks and Bakugo.
Well, there you go. No,
He's such a deep character.
Again, that's I think that's what people really want to see. Red Dragon. Jiren's life feels like Gohan's without Dragon Balls. Oh yeah, because
Well, I mean,
because
kinda.
he doesn't have Dragon Balls to wish his people back. So
I
he
would
sort
say
of has
more,
that.
even more like Future Trunks is without Dragon Balls.
Yeah, that's true. He's basically future Trunks in a sense, but only with less personality.
And then they died.
And then they died too. Craig Twitchell. What if you switch the roles of Dr. Briefs and Jiro? Briefs and Bulma were Red Ribbon Army, and Jiro and his son were from Capture Corp from the beginning. Well,
So instead of having the events of Dragon Ball feature Bulma and Goku, it would feature
Gibbo and
Jiro's son and Goku, and the big bads of the Red Ribbon Army are Dr. Briefs and Bulma. I don't know. Honestly, I think Bulma as a villain could be pretty interesting, especially since we get so few villains or heroes presented throughout Dragon Ball that are women to begin with, and almost always, like, when we get them, a big thing about them is their gender. Like, it hyperfixates on it, and that's like totally unnecessary. Bulma could be just as good of a villain as the people who made the androids in canon, regardless of whether she's a girl or not. I'd love to see more villainous characters, even if it winds up with swaps. The biggest problem for me is that by doing that sort of thing where you swap the Briefs and Jiro families, you lose that dynamic with Bulma and all of the rest of the team. And if Jiro's son's personality is anything like what Android 16 had, then I could see it being a kind of boring dynamic, because he's a pretty static character for the most part. He's really, really just easygoing and laid back, and birds.
Dragon bird, z.
Hello, little one. Would you like me to help me find some Dragon Balls and some birds? Basically, random Twitcher in the middle of finding Dragon Balls. Alright, Manifesto. What if Dragon Ball Super Broly got Super Saiyan 2 and even Super Saiyan 3? Would he be able to overcome the weaknesses that those forms have, given who he is? I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm curious as to whether or not he'd need to experience that sort of evolution of his form. I mean, what we witness with Broly throughout the movie is like, he still is this very, very unique version of a Super Saiyan, and all throughout the combat, he's constantly gaining more power, and I mean, his battle with Gogeta is warping reality, and he hasn't even achieved the higher evolutions of even the Super Saiyan 1 form yet. Like, I don't think you could justify giving him more forms without more or less breaking the narrative of sorts, because at that point, wouldn't his power wouldn't he just be warping reality just by standing there?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, he was breaking reality in full power Super Saiyan. Like, if you had 2 or 3, that would be like breaking the galaxy, essentially. So it's like, probably...
Also, imagine that screaming. Imagine that screaming.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Oh gosh.
that would be very, very strenuous. Craig Twitchell, when do you do lightning rounds? We probably are actually do another one, actually. So
Yeah,
we'll
it's been a
probably...
while.
We'll cobble one together and probably put that out before the end of August, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely overdue for one at this point. We're also overdue for more FAQs.
Yeah.
Incidentally, Red Dragon Force 2 actually says any progress on them. No. But we will do we will do another one of those. We will definitely do that in the future, Red Dragon, so don't you worry. Paparacha, what if Future Fem Goku was stranded on Vampa? Well, if Goku was on there, they'd ever be able to find some way of like living off the bug juice from everything there. But if she found Broly, probably would actually find it really, really interesting, and be like, the power on display is incredible. And probably would actually really just find some solace in just training them, just try and like get them to like understand their power, like Haverock and we do in some of our more recent what ifs. Goku and Broly's training. Basically turn him into a brick wall before then actually giving him the passion for fighting. So it's to focus on defense first and then on attack. So, you know, first he protect, then he attack. There you go.
Also, he a snack.
Absolutely. Paparazzi. In Fem Goku, I feel like Yamcha will befriend 17 to replace Krillin's 18. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Like, I might do that. I might actually do that and like have 17 be the one to survive. And just be like, and it's just like, you know, Yamcha and 17. They basically just like, yeah, they hang out. That'll be fun.
Dos amigos.
Yes, exactly. No, it's dos compadres. It's not the three amigos. It's more like dos compadres now. Oh, yeah. Craig Twitchell, think he can write me into a what if? I actually did in one of my more recent videos, Craig, mention you. So, referred to, I think it was something about Jiro. And I mentioned, like, saying, oh, so that would make Craig really happy. So,
yeah.
So you do get a shout out. Yep. Paparacha, what if Josenkyo was on Mount Paozu?
Oh, geez. By Josenkyo, you're referring to the Thousand Springs from Ranma, right? So, if it was on Mount Paozu, well, I could already see that there's okay, I got it, okay. I got it. Gohan falls into the spring of Crown Girl, and Goku falls into the spring of
Sorry, you cut out there for a sec, sorry.
Gohan falls into the spring of Drowned Girl, and Goku falls into the spring of Drowned Cat, or if you want to further emphasize the whole Sun Wukong, the first round monkey.
Oh, okay, but I think I got that, but I think it's gone on my end again, so I'll come back. Sorry about that, but basically what I think Sophie was trying to say was that Gohan would be falling into the spirit of the drowned girl, and I think Goku would end up becoming a panda or something like that, or maybe a monkey. I think that's what I got. But yeah, I think that's the vibe that I got. So let me just sort this all out. So I think to them, I'm becoming a giant robot or something like that, I think. But you guys can hear me okay still, so I'm just gonna restart Discord and then figure that out. But don't worry about that. I shall now do it, and let's fix this. Come on. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Again, it's my
It has to be
emphasis.
your download, not your upload, because we can hear you just fine.
Yeah, and Hav can hear me just fine, but apparently you can't, and because the stream comes through on your end, everybody hears what you hear.
Yeah, no, it's strange. It's a very weird mixed bag there, but I managed to decipher what you were saying and relay it to the screen, so don't worry.
Yes.
Right. Papa Podo, what if Tarble's real mom was Gine? This could explain his power level, personality, and real reason for being sent away. You know what? That's not necessarily a bad idea, because, you know, Saiyans aren't known for monogamy.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Tarble's mother was Gine, and you'd be like, oh, you know what? That actually makes sense.
And he is the brother of both Goku and Vegeta.
So he connects them together. Interesting. We'll make a note of that. That's a really good idea. All right.
Well, and I mean, it fits with that whole concept because I mean, knowing that they utilize like birthing pods and mechanically assisted childbearing, it's more than likely that it's part of one of the concepts I had for like the backstory of the Saiyan race and stuff like that is that one of the reasons why the nobility, you know, the royals, the elites are able to stay in power is because they have this whole system that's set in place where that emphasizes like a genetic lottery, right? Like your genetics are paired with another person of opposite gender for the sake of producing a child based on this like genetic lottery, and the elites get to have first pick, but in truth it's all just a lie so that the elites can continue to have more power than everybody else, you know, and more rights than everybody else.
Yeah.
So Tarble being born from a combination of King Vegeta and Guinea's genes would be a very, very interesting little twist. And it would inadvertently make Vegeta and Goku something like family, which I imagine would give Vegeta an aneurysm.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know how to process this. Yeah, yes. Red Dragon Force 2, upon behalf of Augustus, Chucky and DBZ. When I first read that, it's like, well, I don't know, Goku. It's really scary. Chucky from Rugrats. That's what I first read. But if it were Chucky, for the actual Chucky, as in the scary puppet, I mean, it would be really funny just to have, like, it be replacing Garlic Jr. That'd be so funny. R-rated Dragon Ball. But instead of Pilaf, it's Chucky. That would be so twisted.
Replacing Humas? I'm sorry, I don't think I recognize this character.
Oh no, sorry.
It's a character from the.
I meant Pilaf. Sorry.
Yeah.
Those two, I get them so confused. it's Pilaf.
Oh, but who are you getting confused?
No, it's gone again. Sorry. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Craig Twitchell. What if Dr. Ichiro and Briefs had a Wily and Light dynamic? Right? I think that's actually kind of what you get. Only it's just like you don't really see them interact. But if they did interact, it would get. I think that is actually what you could glean from that. But I'm not sure whether Toriyama actually knew about Mega Man or Rockman at that time. But that's what I got. I get that vibe. Briefs is basically Dr. Light. It's like, oh yes, boys, you have to go and face Dr. Wowie. From that old X7 thing.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
X7. Violence.
We can repair Dr. Wowie.
Dr. Wowie. Manifesto. What if Kami turned younger at the same time as Demon King Piccolo did in Dragon Ball? Or would that not make any difference at all, even when fusing with Piccolo Jr.? Oh no, it would make an absolute difference, because Kami would be back to his full vitality. Like, he's still pretty strong in comparison to most of the fighters in Dragon Ball, but if he was back to his youth, he'd be even stronger. Like, probably over 400, 500 power or something, but he'd definitely be very strong. So that'd be one of those byproducts, like, you know, you see Kami in full vigor training Goku. So Goku probably would actually win quite handily against Piccolo Jr. And when he fused with Piccolo Jr. afterwards, like against Cell, Piccolo would probably body Cell. Like, really be strong. Or he would definitely have the upper hand against 17.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Again, it would be absolutely beneficial, Manifesto. So I absolutely agree with that.
I think Kamikolo with like the younger Kami would be at least as strong as Android 16.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I could agree with that sentiment, especially if like if Kami had an opportunity to turn young earlier in the series, so that he might be inclined to, you know, try to train himself up a bit more. I could definitely see the fusion having more gains from that.
I would agree with that too. Absolutely. Okay. Red Dragon Force on behalf of Thunder Student. 5-way human fusion from last time. What best traits do you give them for the fusion form? Well, first off, they'd be bald, have some scars. They would have like an animalistic power, as well as Dodonray. Because I think Dodonray is probably one of the most effective powers that you can actually get. So,
Mm-hmm.
if it up to me, I would have the Dodoronri over the Kamehameha. Because I think the Dodoronri is just as powerful and quicker to charge.
I'm fairly certain that the original gimmick of the Dodonray in the OG bit was that Kamehameha is the more powerful beam attack, but because it takes a charge time, Dodonray has much more adaptability because you can fire it multiple times. It's thin and narrow, which means that you can make better use of it in tighter quarters, etc., etc. All of those little bits and bobs serve to make it a more versatile beam attack than Kamehameha is, even if it is like technically the weaker beam.
Yeah.
Apparently, Roshi claims that Kamehameha is inferior to the Dodonray.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Curious. But again, I would prefer it in a character build, of course.
Yeah.
I know that is heresy considering who I play. Great Mitchell. What if you switch the roles of Zeno and Zamasu? Honestly, that would be much more interesting if the Omni King was out to basically destroy everything. And it would be much more compelling because Zeno is basically just like, he destroys everything on a whim with absolutely no motivation whatsoever other than being upset. And that's it. So at least with Zamasu, and even his motivation's a bit like erratic, at least it's something. So I think
the problem with
the
problem with that scenario though is that the Omni King is omni-powerful. You know, he's omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. You know, all these kinds of things to some sort of degree or whatever. You know, because he's supposed to be he's this god king of everything. And,
or so we are told. That's another.
Or so we are told. So I mean, you'd have to tweak the scenario a bit to justify how the Omni King can even be defeated by mortals. You know, in order to justify that sort of story arc. And I think once you're dealing with like deities of that caliber, it's part of the reason why I kind of struggle having any interest in the stakes of Super is because now we're dealing with all of these gods of destruction and angels and you've got the Omni King and you've got the higher Kais and all this other stuff. It's so intense. There's so many of these universal powers, right? That I sit there and I'm just like, how are the mortals even capable of going toe-to-toe with these people? Because I'm already tired of seeing the Saiyans get all of the credit for Earth. But now you're presenting a scenario where it's like, how could anybody other than the Saiyans even hope to keep up? How are the Saiyans even keeping up? And it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Back in my day, we had one deity, and we liked it.
Yeah. Right? I mean, oof.
Back in my day, we had only one kami, and we had only one demon king, and that's how the entire scope of heaven and hell worked.
Oh, alright.
But then you go out for groceries for 30 years, and you come back, and the entire scope of the Pantheon's changed.
Oh. But cool. Chrome Bison. Suppose the Tuffles survived over the Saiyans. What if they became a tech superpower whose scientific prowess was as threatening as the Saiyans?
We have 2-parter video incoming about the Tuffles,
yes,
so we cannot
next week.
tell too much.
We will tell you everything, Chrome, next week in our 2-part discussion. So you will look forward to that. Pampapodo, what if miraculously the Toei Yu-Gi-Oh! Was to get an English dub and you were invited to audition for Bakura, but told to ignore the 4Kids version? How would you portray normal and Yami Bakura? Can we hear? I'm not gonna lie, I would almost just basically do what Martin does. You know, it's like, oh hi Yugi, can I be in this episode? and then it's like, and why, Merrick? I am basically just being Bakura. It's like, no, I do not want to see your midriff. But my midriff is absolutely majestic, Bakura! No, it's Bakura, not like a Pakora. Pakora! Now I want some Pakoras! Can you get it? I want some Indian snacks. You're a
Oh my gosh.
medic. What was that? Nothing. Sorry. It's like,
Bakura, you better help me get the leather pants from Pharaoh.
oh, that is so 2011.
Yeah.
It's so 2011, it hurts.
We actually have a full polished map of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged. Somebody did it. There's a group that did the whole thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Craig Twitchell, did you work on Hellsing Abridged? Yeah, sort of. I edited episode 7 of Hellsing Ultimate, and I also voiced the Doctor. So, Herr Doctor. So, that was my involvement. Paparacha, what if Potara fusion, without a Kai involved, resulted in the fusion as a permanent separate third entity? So Vegeta, and Goku would all exist. Oh, okay, so basically if you just had this random Vegeta just wandering the Earth, I'm pretty sure it would basically train, and then Vegeta would basically just make Vegito train with him at all times. So that means he can get the intel on Kakarot. Ha! Finally, yes! I know Kakarot's attacks! So, Vegeta would just make him his ultimate sparring partner, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And Goku would have someone to go out eating with. Papa Poda, what if Zamasu and Yami Bakura were best friends and teamed up? Oh, so it's like... Ah, yes, I have the ability to bring down with my zero mortal plan. That makes absolutely no sense. What? Well, if you do not have any mortals in which to rule, then that doesn't make sense. And it definitely does not involve a children's card game. What is a card game? Oh no, what have I signed up for? At least Merrick understood what the card game was. But there you go. Gobi, what if Goku regained his Saiyan memories, causing him to have a breakdown from years of repressing trauma? Oh man, delayed reaction? Ouch. So,
yeah,
that could be really, really bad. So all I'm saying is that, yeah, if that happened, expect Goku being absolutely iced,
Whoa.
definitely. So that's all I gotta say. That would be a major oof for all concerned. That's all I gotta say. But again, we'll write that down, Gobi, because actually that could be really interesting to explore in a discussion. So we'll write that down. But Ice259 coming in with $100. Wow! Thank you so much, buddy. Really.
Thank you.
Yeah. He says, "Hey Masako, I've been a fan since episode 20 of DBZ. This is my question. What if Gine had a third son after 19 years after landing on Earth? How will this affect the story of Gine?" Okay. So basically, okay, Iced. Basically, if that were to happen, then I would say probably, it would be an interesting dynamic to maybe even have a daughter. Like, all this time, and no, it's not going to be Ranch, before anyone asks.
Of course not.
Nice try.
If Gine was to have a child, well, first things first, you have to ask yourself, who with?
Gohan.
No! No!
Excuse you?
Grandpa Gohan.
What?
Why
What?
not? Why not?
What?
Why
Also,
not?
Grandpa Gohan is likely dead after 19 years because we both know that he's not the type who would do the whole Roshi extended life.
Oh no,
bit,
he would.
you know?
In the Gine universe, he is actually dead.
He is dead in the
Yeah.
Gine universe. So A, no Gohan. B, no Grandpa Gohan either. So God, Avarok.
Usually that's my job to create the
Grandma, what massive hotness you have.
I'm playing the sound. I played the. Oh, and but Haverock is with the.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yamcha and Gine, yes, Nick Wolf. I am down for that.
Okay,
I am
Yamcha.
down for that.
Yamcha. Okay. All right. Let's try to make this realistically happen. Like, Yamcha is feeling blue. Gine, being Gine, wants to be friendly and help. And basically, it's just like, ask what's up. And they actually really click. So, I feel like in that way, it'd be bonding. And then ultimately, she has a child the natural way. And basically, this would be her experience of actually having a child how you're supposed to and not in a nursing capsule. Like, maybe in a way this is like what it's like to be human. Like, that kind of connection for her.
And Yamcha gets his hand broken when she goes into labor.
He gets more than that broken. 2 hands! Okay. Okay, just so you guys know, thank you all so much for your submissions, but I'd like to say the super chats are now closed because we have gone past 45 minutes, and we do still have a lot to get through, so just so you know. So all I remains to say, if you do a super chat, that is out of your, that is just for you to support the channel. If we do have time, then we will get to it, but just so you know. Okay. Let's see, where did we get up to? Brendan Little. I'm tough. I'll have you know that I stubbed my toe kicking a chair over interrogating a suspect, and I only cry for 20 minutes. Most people cry for 30, but not this krill dog. Alright, Craig Twitcher. What if Jiro was a bio-android like Cell? Nat Grantamil, don't worry about it, mate. Again, there's lag, so don't worry about it. Jiro, if he was a biomechanical android, he would have the power of regeneration, but I imagine him being like the prototype. Like, maybe he only has a certain level of regeneration, like, there's only so many times he can regenerate before it doesn't work anymore, or it begins to get faulty. But, again, he'd be probably the prototype thing, but Cell is meant to be the perfect example.
Yeah.
And also, even if Jiro was perfect, I can imagine Cell having a inferiority complex, and question. It's like, you dub yourself the perfect machine. Not so, Doctor. And then, bang. Pretty much, like, Cell would just off him. Because only one Mr. Perfect Cell. So there you go.
Also, keep in mind that he probably wouldn't be able to recover a head or a body from a head, so...
Yeah, so there'd be limitations, certainly. Alright, okay.
Yeah.
Hannah Rowan, what if demons had a bigger role in the Dragon Ball series? How would you implement them, especially with angels around? Well, that's actually one thing that Super Dragon Ball Heroes does right. You get the Makaioshin. Like, you get that whole Mekikabara, that whole arc with Toa and Dabura. That's actually one of those things that you think, I'd actually like to see that in the main show.
I would like to see it. I would have liked to see it in the era before they started introducing characters like the GODs and the Angels, because I feel like I don't care as much about the dichotomy of the Kaioshin and the Makaioshin. You know, the Kai and the Makai. I don't care about their dichotomy as much because I know for deities, these guys are all chumps and the GODs and angels are superior to them. Why do we care at all about what their internal struggle is? If we didn't have GODs and angels, then I'd find it a lot more interesting, kind of like I did back when Xenoverse 1 first came out in the Battle of Gods time, you know.
Right.
But I mean, it's like I said, Super has its ups and downs, and Super Dragon Ball Heroes and stuff like that. I'm glad to hear that they're actually doing something with it, but I largely don't think they're going to try and actually implement it in the canon proper.
Yeah, it's a shame, but at least we know it does exist in some fashion there. Nick Wolf, very happy with Up on the Lookout story time. Can't wait for the Good Boy Raditz retelling with the future aunts and fixing early plot holes. Yeah, no, I do want to go back through the Good Boy Raditz thing, and then for the Up on the Lookout story time, fix it a little bit. So if there are any like big plot holes I may have put in, I'll try and sort those out. Maybe. So just look forward to that, Nick. But I'm glad that you're listening. AMM2 Media, what if Gohan could use the Nimbus when he had to survive in the wilderness for 6 months? You know what? I'm surprised he didn't think of that. Because, like, he knows about Kintoon, and Gohan is a very sweet, pure boy. It would have worked. But
remember, though, he was in a bit of a state of shock and stress, and he was 5.
Well, I think after, well, this is like for 6 of the months. So basically, maybe after the panic had cooled down, and basically once he got to the point where he was having so much fun, he was killing dinosaurs. But at that point, he would be basically, well, wait a minute, there's Nimbus. So if he did get that, he probably would just fly home.
He wouldn't have had to. He wouldn't have had to construct a sand skimmer and ride that into town and do the whole storyline with Picaro and the orphans if he had just had access to Quinto-un.
Yeah, right. No, definitely. Craig Twitchell, what if Gohan got credit for defeating Cell? Well, I do have a what if called "What if Gohan was Earth's hero?" That will really suit. That will suit you, Craig. So go and give that a watch. Dark Prince Revan. What if Piccolo survived the Saiyan saga and Frieza invaded Earth with the Dragon Balls instead of Namek? Well, it might have bought them some time because the Dragon Balls on Earth are much harder to find. So they're not all just conveniently placed in villages.
But it would end badly. Still, they wouldn't be ready for
yeah,
Frieza.
I'll just play the sound because we haven't played that. It would end badly, Prince. Paparazzi, what if Sensu were native to Salada or Sadala, and when it exploded, they were sent to many planets, including Earth? Or what, like random pockets of spore and debris, which maybe contain plants or something like that, landed on asteroids? Well, if they survived entry into the atmosphere, then maybe there are other planets that do have sensu beans. So there are multiple bean daddies across the galaxy. You know?
Yeah.
You never know.
And who knows? They might even grow things that are similar to sensu beans, but aren't beans.
So
and obviously, they wouldn't be called sensu
the
because
Dragon Ball Gum fruit. It's like,
oh my gosh! What if sensu beans and various other sensu-esque related vegetables each had a different gum ability attached to them?
Right?
Devil fruit ability.
We discovered that Yajirobe isn't human, but like Corin and Mr. Popo, they are divine creatures. He's a part of this galactic fair race of bean daddies.
Yeah. It's like a club. Nick, if Good Boy Raditz dries up, when will we get What If Raditz was female, and instead of Goku fighting his sister at the start of Z, he fights his niece Echelot?
I'm sorry, that's a new one.
That's a new one. But
interesting.
We wouldn't get Raditz as female, even though I have seen loads of art that would make Raditz as a female really, really good looking. But I don't know. It's not something that's occurred to me, but we'll write it down.
Yeah, if we did female Raditz, it'd probably be a scenario with something more than just female.
There'd be something else to it rather than just just being female.
Also, the whole niece echelon thing. Are you implying that Vegeta sank to such a level that he would be willing to
I was going through a phase.
Marry/breed with femme Raditz.
Listen. Times were getting really rough, and I was really desperate.
He was wearing his Saiyan armor, so.
You don't know how hard it is traveling from planet to planet with a 6'5" gorgeous Saiyan woman next to you all the time.
Ha! I knew it! You always thought I was very attractive, Vegeta. Now I hear you admit it!
I was talking about Nappa.
You slut.
Oh. Paparazzi. What if Shin, knowing Boo was on Earth, started training the Z Fighters soon after Cell? Right? Like, surely Shin would have just come after Cell and just gone like, there is another villain. I'm going to help train you, or something like that. Why did he wait until just as soon as like Barbary had shown up? Surely he would have anticipated it. Like, 7 years is nothing in the grand scheme of things with the Supreme Kai. So, I mean, it'd be cool, and he might actually be useful. The Dragon Team would certainly be more powerful. But at the same time, if they weren't careful, it might make Boo arrive sooner. You never know. No, it's not Paparazzi. Gobi. What if Gohan was an adventuring archaeologist like Indiana Jones? Right? Like, Gohan has adventures by discovering the planet and researching about the evolution of humanity. So
He would be he
Interesting.
He would adopt the moniker of Cyanagos.
Cyanagos.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I see what you did there. Good.
yeah. Or even better, Icarus Jones. Because-
Icarus Jones.
Because Indiana was the name of the dog.
Oh, of course. Good little Icarus.
Ic-
Oh, that's cute.
Icarus Jones.
Oh. Alright, Paparazzi, what if Videl was Margin? We have Margin Videl. Oh, that would be a
I don't
major
think-
paradox.
Oh man, I don't think there's enough evil in Videl to become Majin. She's got plenty of pent up anger and aggression, but not a whole lot of actual like darkness, I think,
No.
to really latch onto. I think you'd have to write a scenario where Videl's life is a little bit tougher growing up, especially when it comes to like the Hercule stuff, like maybe write a scenario where Hercule is proven to be a fraud, and in the intervening time skip, like Videl has to deal with the fallout of her father being a fraud and stuff
Yeah,
like
right.
that, and it makes her grow up in a much tougher, harder environment.
Yeah, no, that would be it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd agree.
Yeah.
I would absolutely agree. Hannah Rowan, what if the Tuffles and Saiyans managed to coexist? Would we see hybrids between them, and how could this affect Frieza's working with them?
They did coexist for a moment.
They did.
Brief
They did. For about,
Also, yeah, if you are
couple
curious, the discussion.
yeah, check out our discussion next week, Hannah. This will definitely see you. But they did coexist technically for a couple of centuries. In our theory. In our theory. And you will see that next week. Nick Wolf, what if Chi-Chi passed giving birth to Gohan and Goten as twins? AKA, what if Dragon Ball Z were more like wolf children, Ame and Yuki? Dragon Ball by Hosoda. Well, we've done this a couple of times. Like, Goku would be a parent who would definitely try his best. And it's not like he wouldn't have help. Bulma would easily help. Krillin would easily come back and be best Unky Krillin.
Yeah. I think even Roshi would help.
Yeah, no, Roshi would help because, he wouldn't, he would say that's the worst thing that, you could, that shouldn't happen to someone so young and as hot. It's like, too soon, Roshi. Sorry, okay, I'll help. Like,
It's such a darn shame to see such lovely legs pass into the other world this soon.
oh, that's our Roshi.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Alright, Outback Corn Dog. What if Bardock was forced to work for Frieza? Well, if I imagine if Frieza came to a negotiation about basically, I won't destroy planet Vegeta unless you work for me, and then like Bardock complies for a bit, and then I can imagine Frieza just quietly destroying planet Vegeta, without Bardock looking. It says, "Oops, my finger slipped," and then Frieza. He'd be played. He'd be absolutely played.
Frieza.
It's not Maximum the Hormone. It's Bardock singing that.
I know. I'm just I got it in my head now.
Also, again, the biggest question in that is why would he Bardock was nothing that special really in the grand scheme of things of Sam's. I'm sorry, guys.
He really isn't. I agree. I totally agree. Bardock gets way overhyped by the fandom, and Toei totally played into it. So it's really frustrating because it's like one of the biggest things about Bardock as a character is supposed to be he was this low-class Saiyan who happened to be smart enough to see the writing on the wall and send his child away before Frieza destroyed the planet. And instead, all of the other media and fans and stuff like that are making him the second coming of the legendary Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
When we all know that that's Broly.
No, we all know that's Pan. That's Pan.
We all know that's Pan, exactly.
Yeah.
Pep4 Soda says, nah, dude, he's a brilliant scientist.
He was a brilliant scientist.
Or a scientist.
Scientist!
Oh, Silent Moon. What if the Z Warriors got stronger by placing restrictions on their abilities like Nen in Hunter x Hunter? I imagine probably putting limitations on what they could do probably would actually make them channel into other techniques that would get stronger at the same time.
Oh, that sounds so much like a Vegeta thing. Why isn't that a Vegeta thing?
Yeah, right?
Right?
Yeah, no, that should be a Vegeta thing. Like, he basically does, oh, well, let's forget Gallic Gun. I put restrictions on that, so that means I can make the Big Bang attack even stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, something like that. That's definitely a Vegeta thing. Again, have why isn't it that case? Because that is really good.
Yeah.
Nick Wolf, what if Twin Goku and Raditz landed on Earth? Part of 1. Battle Power of 1. But Goku was more rowdy due to never hitting his head. Turtle School Raditz versus Crane School Kakarot. Oh man, this would be the way that actually they'd be reunited. So basically, Raditz would be this way of trying to like reason with his brother who had gone to the an evil force. So basically, that would be this whole thing about like Raditz and Kakarot fighting, and then they'd be just like this way of being able to bring them back. So Raditz being the one to champion to bring Kakarot back from the darkness.
You were my brother, Kakarot. You were supposed to destroy the Red Ribbon Army, not join them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Concept. Instead of them being infant twins, with equal power levels, they still have a bit of an age gap, but they're also in 2 different pods, and so they land in different areas. And if you want to try and make Goku the antagonistic one for this series, what you do is you make it to where Raditz's pod landed on Mount Paozu near Grandpa Gohan's place, and you make it to where Goku's pod landed near a place where Mercenary Tao was working. And since Mercenary Tao decides he could use an infant as far as being somebody to carry on his legacy and teach his techniques to, you have a Mercenary Tao raised Goku and a Gohan raised Raditz.
Oh, cool. So you get then that thing, they kind of clash, and then when worlds collide.
Because then you could use sort of like there's a bit of a thing there where you could have that whole Goku Tien sort of thing going on, but at a much deeper level. By the time like the tournament comes around, because when the Budokai comes around and stuff like that, that would be like Raditz and Goku reuniting for the first time. Even though they might have caught like glimpses of each other here and there throughout the series during like the Red Ribbon Army arc and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I like that. Yash, but Gary, hey guys, what if Hit didn't lose to Monarca? Not the best, but hey. Okay, so basically if Monarca, like, Hit actually took it seriously and just punched him out of the ring, well, even then, I mean, the whole thing would have been, like, completely... Toriyama would have just gone like, oh, the tournament's forgotten about because Zeno shows up. Like, they're all shaken up and, the whole tournament's forgotten about. Pretty much that's how it would have gone. Like, it'd be like, oh no, okay, Champa wins. When does Earth get trusted? No, what do you mean? That never happened. Zeno scared them out. That's pretty much what happened.
Or Zeno would be like, you cannot move planets from universe to universe without my permission, right, Champa?
Yes, of course. Yes, never mind. It's a moral victory. Yes.
Exactly. So
I'm afraid.
Again, I really liked Zeno in that one episode. I felt
when we first see Zeno, it was perfect. That was great. Yeah. Everything else after that,
Yeah.
Grant Emil, what if when King Piccolo wished for his youth, Kami became younger as well? We actually did cover this, Grant, but in short, we'll go over it again quickly. But Kami probably would be even more powerful than he actually is, and that end result, when he would train Goku, would mean that Goku would probably actually win against Piccolo Jr. quite convincingly. Like, the power level difference may be only like 50 or 60, but in Dragon Ball those days, that was enough. So, it would be basically... everybody would be coming up Goku and Kami. Craig Twitcher, what if Shin and Zamasu fused? Oh my. Shimazu. But basically you'd have this strong, powerful Kai fusion. But basically there is a failure rate chance of like 50-50. Like, you have the chance to do this incredible attack, but it may not work half the time.
No, he would have that mood swings. I will rule over those mortals. But what if they won't like me? Like.
Yeah, it basically is schizophrenic almost.
Yeah. Very unstable.
Very
got some dissociative identity going on, like Deadpool or Twice.
Yeah.
Code of Zero. What if Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta all turned good? Well, they basically make Earth the base of their operations, and then they would find some way to be able to, like, go up against Frieza. They would work with the Dragon team, because basically they'd be like, the Dragon Balls are actually kind of useful. Let's go after Frieza. We actually have a chance to be able to go after them. So you just have mounting this crusade, ultimately.
I don't know, Mas. I've seen some people theorize that one of our what-ifs may go that path, but I don't know anything about that. I heard that one of the what-ifs is going that path. People theorize that, but I don't know. What do I know?
Well, I don't
what
know.
Do I know?
I don't know either. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. John Riggins. Hey guys, it's been a while. I hope all is well. And John, congratulations on your twins, on the twins being born. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing all right.
Congrats.
I hope all is well. Yeah, it certainly is. Here's one for you. What if Piccolo and Dende fused during the Frieza saga? I don't know if there is an age difference issue. Not really, because Namekians mature really quickly. So I don't think there's an issue there. But if they did, if they were able to fuse, you pretty much would you wouldn't get it'd be like with Kami. The Dragon Ball, there wouldn't be a chance to make Dragon Balls with this fusion. But he may have the power to heal, maybe. I think at the very least that would only be reasonable. He would have the power to heal. He could regenerate himself and also heal others, but not regenerate per se. So he'd be the medic. He'd be the paladin of the group.
I can now off-spec heal.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be the paladin of the group. He can deal DPS damage, but he can also then heal people and himself.
I can kinda heal, but I don't have my healer gear. I would need my healer-weighted clothing for that.
Rose beam.
Yeah.
There you go. Dark Cloud Alpha. What if Future Roshi was made Kami by Popo? Oh, I just did it for laugh. I was really stoked. But I can't go back on it. I've already done it. Enjoy this, Earthlings. Ha!
I think that Popo would if he didn't refuse it outright, he'd only bear the mantle for so long before saying it's too much responsibility. I need to give this to somebody else.
Roshi. This is Roshi in the future Trunks thing. I think he as you said, but in a way, I do agree with you. So maybe he would do it up to a certain time until everything's fixed, and then he would step down. He would do that.
And instead of the lookout, they would have the submarine. Kami's submarine.
Kami's submarine. Yeah. Gobi. What if Universe 7 lost the Tournament of Power with Goku being spared on a whim by Zeno? Since Goku made him laugh. Well, the thing is, though, the only way to make him redeem Zeno in our eyes is basically Goku looks to Zeno for some compassion. Doesn't get it.
You're boring now. I don't want to play with you anymore.
That's the only way you could redeem Zeno.
Or to show that this is just a facade. That childish thing is just a facade.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
No, definitely. That'd be the only way I think you can make it work.
Which I feel anime staff felt when he debuted. And I mean, he's not like this in the manga, but they decided, we need a, child character, for the kiddies.
Yeah.
We need a mascot character.
They don't have that with Goten and Trunks, apparently.
Yeah.
Evan Ismajovic. With the exceptions Universe 6, 7, and 11, what if the other universes were your other what-if worlds, and they were in a Tournament of Power? Well, you'd have the What-Infinity Tournament of Power, and we do want to do that in the fullness of time. We just need a few more of the what-ifs to finish, so that means we have a complete universe to work with. So, watch this space, Evan. You are on the right track there, though. And Goku, what if the Tournament of Power turned out to be like a game of Mario Party? Oh, So
Oh my
basically,
gosh.
like Zeno produces the 100-star present.
So what? Android 17 does nothing and wins?
Yeah, exactly. He does nothing and wins. It's like, so did I win? Nice, cool. Or in the latest one, he just goes around stealing other stars from people. Like, Universe 2 are collecting loads of stars, but then, like, 17 lands on the correct spot and just takes their stars.
Frieza is the one aiming for somebody other star. Frieza, but that won't give us win. This guy has just 1 star. I know, but I will take his star anyway.
I know, I just really want that star. It would make me feel good. Mr. Eevee, what if the evil energies that made Janemba formed on Frieza when he was in Hipple? Oh man, can you imagine a Janemba Frieza fusion? That'd be cool.
Janemba as a symbiote attaching itself to Frieza.
Yeah.
Yes, and
That's essentially the scenario you've cooked up.
That's essentially Carnage. That's
Yeah.
essentially Carnage.
Yeah, essentially Carnage. Frieza as Carnage.
that'd be cool. That
Yeah.
would be cool. I like that. Grant Emil, what if King Cold and King Piccolo teamed up? Well, King Cold is much stronger than King Piccolo, and also, it would be really bad for King Piccolo. It says, I see that you are a king. Tell me, who are your subjects? Well, I don't really have any. Maybe some children. I can make some. Oh, how cutely primitive.
I'm a
Come on.
king in exile.
I could make you an Namekian king, you know? I can send you to your people, you'll become their king.
Under my
And-
watch, of course.
And Nail would beat King Piccolo. Isn't that crazy that Nail is so much stronger than King
Right?
Piccolo?
That is crazy. That's bonkers. That is really weird. Craig,
Well, you got to consider the fact that Nail probably had his potential unlocked at some point by Guru, and that King Piccolo lost a lot of his main power by being only 1/2 of the nameless Namekian. You know,
right.
so
Yeah. Craig Twitchell, what if Hercule beats Cell? The only way I could see this working is if purely by chance Hercule hit somewhere on Cell which had his nucleus in it and it disrupted it. That's the only way I could see that working.
I have other version like that. Secretly, Hercule, somehow, Hercule has that potential of randomly triggering Ultra Instinct, and when Cell is about to punch him, it triggers, and it's not much so Hercule, but his body, does something.
It would be enough to at least wipe him away.
He wouldn't have a
weird.
control over that, but it would be hilarious.
It would be hilarious. It would be. Dark Cloud Alpha, what if Zeno made the tournament to power between the different timelines instead of universes? That would be Dragon Ball Multiverse, pretty much.
yeah, at that point, if it's alternate timelines, etc., it's pretty much Dragon Ball Multiverse.
Yeah.
I would almost think that it was probably something that they had considered, and they might have done it if it weren't for the fact that such an enormous fan-created thing that had that exact plot already existed.
Toyotaro
Because-
was aware of it.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so he would have been aware of it and would just been like, don't think that would work. But fortunately, Shueisha didn't do a cease and desist. Fortunately.
Yep.
EV's XM, what if Frieza never called the Ginyu Force? I'm playing Sassan. Because if he never called the Ginyu Force, the manga would have ended much sooner, and we would have ultimately, it would have ultimately spelled doom. Because the Ginyu Force were there to buy our heroes some time. To actually get a bit stronger.
And get some strength.
Yeah.
Well, you needed it in order to justify. You needed it in order to justify the gigantic Zenkai that Goku gets, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is like, technically speaking, Goku at his power level, because he proves himself capable of utilizing Kaioken times 10 and times 20 throughout that whole segment, right? So Goku could have probably defeated First Form Frieza. But here's the thing. We all know what Goku is like. Goku would have never never had the mentality to end the fight without allowing Frieza his transformations, which means that ultimately, if Goku shows up, you know, he's got his power level of 90,000 or whatever, right? That means with a Kaioken times 10 or times 20 done in those microbursts that he's shown to use in the later portions of that canon battle on Namek, he could have defeated first form and maybe even second form Frieza. But they would have. But Goku's the kind of mentality that he always wants his opponent to be fighting in top condition.
Yeah.
And so every time Frieza's like, "I've got another transformation to show you," Goku would have just been like, "Okay," and it would have eventually led to everybody dying.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I played the sound. Craig Twitchell,
Yeah.
what if Xen Super worked like OG Dragon Ball? Well, basically, there'd just be more adventures and stuff like that. But I imagine at the same time, it would have suffered like the whole thing with GT. Because it would have been the same thing over and over and over again. It wouldn't have had the same captured magic of the original Dragon Ball. It would just felt repetitive and just kind of piggybacking off its original success and not doing anything new. So, I feel like it just wouldn't work like that. Nick Wolf, what if Jiren were a Kinshiro pastiche and powered by MU? Or Mu? I'm surprised they didn't do that, because that would have been like a nice little, you know, as you say, parody of Kenshiro. So, you know, but you do kind of get those vibes with the whole "Orida" and basically being very taciturn. But at the same time, though, you couldn't go full Kenshiro because you can't kill in the tournament. So it would be very hamstrung. So therefore, what would be the point? Because there'd be some things you can't really do due to the rules of the tournament. So, unfortunately. Dark Prince Reverend, what if Majin Buu was sealed in the Otherworld instead of Earth and Babidi used the Otherworld tournament to steal their energy? That's a good idea, actually, because there are a lot of strong fighters in there. So basically, there were some rumblings going on in the Otherworld, and then Babidi just used it at close to the last minute to take it to Earth for all reasons. Because
He would kind of be Janemba in that scenario.
yeah, and Janemba and Buu are very similar. So you just be closer to Janemba in that sense, Havrock. You're right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Paparazzo, what if Videl was Ginyu? Oh, if Videl basically got, like, somehow, yeah, basically had Ginyu in her body, like, with the change in our ability.
That's a new one.
That's a new one. I imagine probably it'd be just like a vessel to get to somewhere else, for, you know, to maybe get close to Gohan or something like that. To then get into a stronger being. It would only be temporary. Like, it's to infiltrate the dragon team, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it'd be interesting, but it would not last long. Robmar34, what if Goku and Raditz were sent to Earth together? We do this a lot, actually, so I'll keep this short. And this will probably be in our lightning round, or in our FAQ. But basically, if Goku and Raditz at their same age were sent to Earth together, at their respective ages at the time, Raditz would definitely take on the big brother role quite a lot, and actually embrace the fact they are on a world where Frieza doesn't really have any influence on it, and they can actually have the chance for a life. So,
and they're stronger than
everybody on the planet.
Yeah.
And yeah, Raditz would show his resourcefulness in this. Absolutely, he would thrive, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah Rowan, what if the Zenus forced the Universe Fighters to watch DBZA? Well, like in Kai, it's like,
That's me! I don't know, guys. This is the best show I've ever seen.
it would just be like, it'd be like in the reconstruction of the Cell games. Everyone's going, huh, this is tripe. And Goku's like,
I like this. This is really cool.
so like, Goku would love it.
Oh gosh, that recreation.
It was
Mondo, cool.
Alright, okay. Hannah Rowan, what if the Zenos fought... Oh no, sorry, done that already. Sorry. Craig Twitchell, what if each major villain had a Disney-style villain song, and could you write them? Ah! There is one that we want to do at the end of the What If Zamas Did Nothing Wrong. We will write that. Havrock came up with some really good lyrics for it. And it's based on Tangled's Mother Knows Best.
Yeah.
And it should be Zamos knows best.
best. Yeah, we have that already. Yeah.
Zamos knows best. Take it from your maker. And so basically, it'd be look forward to that. We will do that to celebrate the end of the end of the What If. So do look forward to that. We have that planned, and we will release it.
Speaking of, next episode is tomorrow, guys, and
Yes.
I saw the thumbnail, and I think you will get. If you like this series, you will get pretty excited when you will see.
We
the
definitely got a
thumbnail.
lot more viewers in part 5. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because it was a bit of a rumbler before, but now people are really coming onto it, and I'm really pleased.
Yeah.
So I look forward to that. Crazy Redimu. What if zombies and victims kept power levels? Oh, okay. So basically, if they ever got possessed,
So like a zombie apocalypse or something, but the zombies are still just as powerful.
It's like Marvel Zombies, basically.
Yeah. So basically, they would end up just being like they would keep that. You'd have stronger humans for a start. Maybe, and that's pretty much it, really.
Again, it would be as messed up as Marvel Zombies were, well, where
Yeah.
everybody's evil and basically wants to eat even more and go to another universe, invade another universes, and they will like team up villains and heroes to just consume everything.
Yeah.
With maybe 1 or 2 characters still keeping their morals and trying to stop the rest.
Yeah. No, I would definitely agree with that one.
Probably Piccolo would be the most likely zombie to still be
Yeah.
the moral one.
Take care, Garcia, by the way. Obligatory ruination. What if Goku was born first and Raditz sent to Earth? You pretty much would just have a role reversal, really. Because Raditz might be... He might still be tempestuous. He would be stronger. But not by much, because if he were the baby. But you just have Raditz in the story instead of Goku. And you just then have
And I mean,
Goku.
even if you had a teenage Raditz, like, depending upon just how strong his power level was when he was younger, because, like, you get this feeling that his power level was low, and then it just kind of capped out at around the 1,000 to 1,200 or 1,200 to 1,500, whichever the area is, because his power level's always been kind of wonky as far as canon considers it. If he showed up and he was preteen or teenage or whatever, but he still wound up with like a head injury or something, if you put him into a scenario where Raditz is raised by Gohan, I think it would temper a lot of the issues that he has as a person. He'd become a little bit more brave. He'd still have that cunning, sort of inbuilt into him, and he's a bit more socially capable, I think, than Goku shows himself to be.
Yeah.
He's real he's naturally very snarky and stuff like that. And then we take Goku's personality, or at least what we're told of it, prior to his head injury, and you just kind of amplify it, right? So you got this wild, kind of crazy dude, and he's got a whole lot of heap and helpings of potential, but he'd also wind up, I think, probably Vegeta would have put him in his place pretty quickly, and I also think Vegeta would have seen the potential of him as a threat, so he would have tried to prevent him from gaining more power that might put him over the edge, so to speak, as far as between their relationship. So I think Goku would wind up pretty much being around the same level as Nappa, but then you've got a Raditz who's essentially more or less the same power-ish as Goku is in canon. So as a role reversal, it doesn't make too much of a difference. At least that's how I see it.
No, I would agree with that. I would agree with you. Paparazzi, what if Super Saiyan 3 was useful for stamina training, though still too much for a drain for a real fight? I mean, it could be definitely a means of attrition, as in being able to like improve it, and it might actually have some gains in the long run. But again, you're right, Paparazzi. It would just be used for training, like training purposes and to show off. I mean, nowadays it's kind of relegated to that anyway, and maybe some fan service, like in the Tournament of Power.
Or like a form for quick transition that you just use to bounce to gather some power for the other forms.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, I would agree. Gobi, what if Tellus' spirit had gotten trapped inside Gohan's mind with their interactions being Piccolo and Nail in DBZA, and Tellus being a bit of a shoulder devil? Okay. Well, I imagine Tellus would be a bit of a tormentor, and it would almost be like the kind of person that would be embodying Gohan's fighting spirit, and then maybe kind of like his inner devil, like the rage boost, then personified almost, maybe?
Spopovich would probably go kaboom because he would say him.
Yeah, definitely. No, Tellus would basically just say, kill him.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
'Cause I hate Christmas. Craig Twitchell, what if Adult Ranch fought Five-Head Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh? All I would say, big strong brick girl destroys dragon. Because she's seen a lot of dragons in her time. Dragon Balls. No, seriously, Adult Ranch would probably... Yeah, if there were a game, at first she'd be, like, fighting, like, with attacks, but then ultimately finding out, like, that she would end up playing the game, and then she would just play. And then actually find it a lot of fun. But then throw a tantrum if she loses. Because that's what she would do. Because she's like her father.
I'm pretty sure Raditz plays Yu-Gi-Oh!
I'm pretty sure. At least, maybe the game versions, like the video game versions.
Yeah.
Papa Podo. I was seeing it as Vegeta and Eraserhead emphasizing with each other over both of them having annoying best buddies. Oh, this is going back to our My Hero Academia thing. Podo, we definitely agree with that. So, good one. Soulfan Gaming. What if Goku, Raditz, and Vegeta were brothers? Gine was King Vegeta's wife. Well, we sort of kind of did tippy-toe around that with the idea of Gine being Tarble's mother. So maybe if Gine were Vegeta's mother. Oh, man. Imagine if that came out, that basically the Saiyan Queen was just a figurehead. That basically King Vegeta felt sickened by having, you know, his firstborn being this, you know, from this commoner, and basically just, like, paid this Saiyan elite woman.
Made up a queen.
Or made up a queen who died in childbirth. Oh, no! And,
because nobles are allowed to give live birth. Yes, this is an excuse that will fly with my people.
Oh, yeah, totally. Because they love their king. But if that were the case, if that came out to be true later, then I think Vegeta would be very either understanding or incredibly bemused.
I mean, to be fair, we don't we have no Vegeta and Tarble are the only Vegeta is the only evidence of Vegeta's mother ever existing. We don't know if you know, King Vegeta's if Vegeta's biological mother was even considered a queen, you know?
Yeah.
To think about
but
this.
Whatever King
probably a king, probably not a queen outright, but perhaps a king's consort.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, maybe.
So it could be a situation like that where the royal family is structured in such a way as to where whoever is the wife of the king essentially, but then again, you know, it's not outright stated that Saiyan society is in any way patriarchal, though we do get a little bit more sexism from Vegeta than we do from any of the other Saiyans. So that kind of leads you to say, like, what does that say about the royal family and how they're raised? It kind of makes me think,
because the Saiyan grunts, they're only really based on the Saiyan class system. So actually, social equity in the Saiyan society is actually pretty impressive. Because so long as you're strong, doesn't matter what you are. So can you fight? Can you fix stuff? Then cool, you're in. Nice. Amongst like the Saiyan rank and file.
But we don't know about the royal, you know, the royals. I
think that's a relatively new construct in Saiyan society.
Yeah, I mean it is. We know that. Like, if you have Vegeta the Third, like, the royal line started with Vegetas, so it's Vegetas. So yeah.
A manifesto. Hey Masako, did you like those 3 cell forms I posted to you from last week? I'm working on commissions with them and hoping to show them in the future. Oh yeah, I remember the manifesto. Can you send them again through the mailbag email, please? And if you do get commissions, do show them, because I remember that from the last round table, having different variations on those. Side grades. Havrock and I were all about side grades. Absolutely. Yep. Heartless Fang, what if Raditz ended up flying through a wormhole and ended up on Earth during the Android saga? Big old whoops there. Well, I play the sound. But then I would say with the caveat, so you're only getting half the sound, that Raditz would actually be very strategic. He would know that, basically he could not be a bad person here and try and attack them. So he would try and have information or try and get in and take them down from within. Maybe get stronger, build their trust and all that stuff. That'd be the only way he could survive in that world.
Yeah, I mean, if Raditz if Saiyan Saga power level Raditz goes through a wormhole and winds up in the Android Saga, he is woefully underpowered for dealing with any of those threats.
Yeah, no, definitely. Omega Fighter. What if everyone was a VeggieTales character? Well, you'd have a carrot and a bunch of vegetables, or vegetable superhero as Vegeta. Everyone would just be basically their food puns. The Ginyu Force would literally just be a bunch of dairy products. And basically, they're all trying to avert the attention of the evil Frieza, who basically stores everything away. Basically, anything that goes in there are the planets. He just consumes them. There you go.
God.
What if Jiro's son was similar to Bulma? Then the story would work. Well, if Gable was similar to Bulma, you'd almost say if they were similar ages. That'd be kind of cool.
I could see one reason why Jiro's son might seek out the Dragon Balls for himself prior to the Red Ribbon Army's unilateral decision to go and try and get them for world domination. And that would be to revive the extinct species of birds.
Yeah.
I am very much enthused with the idea of ornithology. No, I would be all about that. So, okay.
It's a better wish than a lifetime supply of strawberries.
That is very true. That's fair enough. Gobi, what if Bardock's facial skull was more like Jonah Hex's with his cheek being torn and his teeth showing? Man, that'd be badass.
Yeah.
That would make Bardock look even cooler.
Yeah, too dark for modern Dragon Ball, sadly.
I mean, mind you, unless they made the Bardock father of Goku thing much like History of Trunks and being a bit darker, that'd be badass, really. But yeah, all I'm saying, that'd be really, really cool. Whoops, sorry, if you want to donate, do feel free if you want to. Alright, Manifesto. Oh my god, I just thought of something. What if Cell had sound-based powers? Bulma did refer to his shell as a giant cicada, right? It makes sense. Oh man, sound waves. Basically, he'd be echoes from JoJo. You know? He basically would be able to, use sound powers. Different frequencies to kind of, negate transformations. Or to, act as an oral solar flare. So basically he can just debilitate his opponents through sound waves. And it's and all he says, "Yes, my children, let's kill the hoe. Beat!" I love that from.
Oh my gosh.
No. Classic English from that. Yes, my master. Oh, that was strange. And it's Koichi, control your stand! Jeez. Okay. Outback Corn Dog. What if Frieza forced Bardock to work for him and then Bardock worked with Z Fighters? Basically, I would say that would be an almost thing. So maybe if Bardock, he did work for him to act as some kind of vice, but then Bardock would just get sick and tired. It's yeah, screw this, I'm just gonna go to Earth. Basically where I sent my pod. Yeah, screw it, I'm just gonna go there. He has that aloof attitude. He would just go, and then by the time Frieza would know, it'd be too late to find him. It would be out of his range. So it would be one of those things. So basically, Bardock would just be hey, you my son? Cool. You wanna go and avenge Frieza and stuff? Yeah, let's do that. I'll train you for a little bit, but then I'll bounce later. So
yeah, and
then Bardock would then go off to his own devices and say, "Well, I hope you deal with that, son. See you later."
I will never understand the fandom's obsession with trying to turn Bardock into the head of a nuclear family. He's totally that's not Saiyan culture, and Bardock is 100%. At least the way he's developed after we've seen more of him in the in all of the side projects, like the video games, the movies, etc., the specials. Bardock is like the Saiyan. And so, like, this idea of, like, why doesn't Goku wish his parents back? It's like, dude, they're not going to become, like, the quintessential nuclear family. Bardock's going to bounce, and Gine would probably stick around for the sake of her kids, but it's not going to be this picturesque thing.
Yeah, no, unfortunately it won't be. It will not be. Grant Emil, what if instead of Immortal Zamasu, we had Vegeta Black? Would the arc end with Vegito Black versus Vegito? We probably would. It would still be. I don't know. Would there be another Goku in that world? I don't think so. But it would be Zamasu and Vegeta, so you just get Vegitsu.
Yeah, but you would have like I think you what they mean is that you have Goku and Vegeta from separate timelines.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Well, it would be definitely cool. You get evil Vegito versus regular Vegito.
But it would be even more confusing.
It would be very confusing. But then you still have the time limit, because if they were like from different Kais, it's weird. But again, it's 2 Vegitos. Marketing. It would be absolutely brilliant. Craig Twitchell.
You could always consider that there might be some timey-wimey shenanigans going on here, because for all we know, Zamasu hopped over to a parallel timeline and swiped Vegito's body from the Buu saga or something. Who knows? And in that case, who knows whether or not the Potara fusion would be permanent, since now there's the spirit of a Kai involved. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Craig Twitchell, what if the Z team encountered Slifer, Ra, and Obelisk? Well, it would certainly be very interesting, especially if it was like, oh man, if they discovered those, and then the final boss would be Obelisk, no, not Obelisk, Exodia. Like, man, Egyptian gods. Like, the dragon team fought Egyptian gods. I mean, they already fight gods already. But, Goku then goes to fight the Forbidden One. That sounds really cool. I like that. Just like, oh man, and it would be like, and then Vegeta would be like, "Whoa, Exodia, impossible! Nobody's ever been able to summon him." He'd just get the whole thing. Oh, he'd just get the whole thing to do with Kaiba. Manifesto. You say run theme from My Hero Academia or Ultimate Battle theme. I love both epic tunes, but if you guys had to choose. Plus, I've not watched My Hero. I would say you say run. You say run's mine. I prefer that.
Yeah. I'd probably say you say run as well. It kind of goes with everything.
Because like Ultimate Battle, it's jazzy, but the impact kind of goes away after a minute. But you say run lasts the entire thing. Like I can listen to the whole of You Say Run and be still pumped. But after the first verse of Ultimate Battle, you kind of get, like, it's done, almost. So I would say You Say Run, that'd be mine. Brendan Little. Next FAQ video, the rule for Fem Vegeta should be that it only be made if the Asuka can beat Masako in Mario Kart. Okay. Here's the thing. This goes out to all of you. If you see me at a convention, you challenge me to Mario Kart. If there is a Mario Kart game available, I will accept your challenge. And if you win, I will do What If Vegeta Was Female. You can hold me to that.
But look out. When he plays Mario Kart, he becomes a different person, and that's not a joke. Like he transforms. He's like, like when we see Goku go Super Saiyan for the first time, this is how Masako plays.
Yeah, Masako in his everyday is Bakura, but when he sits down in front of a racing game, he becomes Merrick.
Yeah,
it's true. It's very true. But that challenge still that challenge applies. And if all goes well, I might be going to Kineticon next year, because I was meant to go this year, but obviously that didn't happen. But if the travel restrictions and the US the US gets its act together regarding COVID, then I will be coming to Kineticon, and just, if you see me, I will destroy you. But if you do win, then I will do What If Vegeta Was Female. So there you go. There you go.
Go ahead and start your intense training regimens. Put on your Eye of the Tiger, and train yourself up for the next time you see Masa at a convention.
Alright, Smash Brono. In some of your what ifs, you have Kami wish for youth. What if he wished for immortality instead? I don't know. I think Kami would rather have more of a youthful visage, because he's been around for hundreds of years. So he's already had the idea of living for a long time. I think he would just want to have his youth again one last time. I think it would actually... I think that would be more poignant for him. And I also don't think he would willingly grab... I don't think he'd willingly latch onto the kind of existential... The kind of existential crisis that immortality would bring with it. And you've got to remember as well that Kami, it has to make all of his decisions taking Piccolo into consideration. So, like, during OG Dragon Ball, Piccolo is considered to be more or less an evil presence on the planet. Even during the Saiyan saga, while they see that he's growing and maturing and learning, like, kindness and empathy and stuff from his relationship with Gohan, Piccolo is still very much a kind of like a wild card, you know? Nobody knows whether or not he's going to want to still kill Goku or take over the world or what have you. And so Kami has to do everything that he does, keeping Piccolo in the back of his mind. And what's more is that I don't think he'd really want to subject himself or Piccolo to an immortal life, because, you know, eventually that sort of life takes its toll on a person. And I think that he'd be satisfied just getting that second shot. And then once he's done, you know, then he was already looking into a new Guardian of Earth back in OG Dragon Ball, which means that he's got to be ready to move on pretty soon. So he'd take that second shot if the situation demanded it, but he wouldn't push it to outright immortality. No, I would agree. Code of Zero, first time here. Welcome, Code of. What if all the three Saiyans turned good, not just one or two of them? I think we actually just covered this recently, or just on earlier. And I think it would ultimately mean that they would use the Earth as a base of operations. But again, there is a theory going around that a certain what if might actually have that happen. Yeah. So let's just stay tuned for that one. Paparazzi,
certain what if? I'm sorry I heard with defeat name. So
Paparazzi, what if Tien was a Saiyan whose pod was knocked off course and lost in Nappa's son? Oh, if Tenshinhan was Nappa's son. Oh man, if it turns out he was a Saiyan.
Beautiful three-eyed baby.
You're just as beautiful bald as I am. I'm proud of you, son.
And we'll find out that you know, this third eye is not a third eye, but actually a permanent tattoo that, in a very irresponsible way, was tattooed on infant Tien.
Son, I'll be honest with you, I lost a bet. Vegeta was really strong. He lost a bet.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And Nick Wolf, this is something in relation to our Chucky question earlier. There is no Chucky saga. Moving on. So, because I mentioned it was Scarlet Jr. There is no Chucky saga. Moving on. Yash but Gary, thank you very much for your donation. And Craig Twitchell, I have a YouTube channel called Game Universe. Oh, cool, Craig. I'll try and give it a look if I can after the stream. Depends on how much of a hooligan Upper is, because this is around the time of day that she gets really, really wild. Like, most of the day she spends asleep, but then in the evening she comes alive and is like really, really intense. She hasn't actually gotten used to the idea of actually modulating her energy. So right now she's just like a whippet right at the end of the day, but chills out the rest of the day. It's weird.
Maybe she's just born to be wild.
Yes, the Papa Tempest indeed. Zach Vet, this may be a stupid question, but what happened to the androids in the Gine story? Well, but the fact is, though, we kind of just went through the regular story as it was. because basically, oh, I've actually forgotten. Oh man, I've actually forgotten.
Oh no!
Oh no! I need to.
Masako has pulled a Toriyama!
I pulled a Toriyama. No. But at least for Toriyama, I'm willing to actually admit my mistake. I will hold my hand up.
No. Listen. Toriyama admits his mistake. He just doesn't care. You do care.
I do care. Oh no! Wait. Yes. No. Okay. I remember. Basically, what happened was they got to the lab. Bulma was able to shut down the pods and take them to Capsule Corp. Right. So basically, then when Gine wiped out Imperfect Cell, but his nucleus and cells lived on her clothes. And there was like some kind of scuffle going on when Vegeta and Gine were fighting, and it ultimately caused Imperfect Cell to regenerate at Capsule Corp, find the pods of his two siblings, and he became perfect at Capsule Corp in Part 14. So that's what happened. Now I remember.
So what happens after Cell's defeated?
They have the Cell games, and then basically Gine is completely broken, and Vegeta goes like, "Ha! Sucks to be you!"
No, but I mean, what happened to the androids? Did they die? Did they get wished back? Did they survive?
I think they didn't have a consciousness because they weren't fully activated.
Oh.
So they couldn't be brought back because they were technically dead.
That's rough.
Yeah, that's rough, buddy.
They were never alive to begin with.
Yeah.
Concept. Since Krillin doesn't get to hook up with 18, he hooks up with Gine.
Oh man. You used to be my best friend's mom, but I gotta say, damn!
Yo, mom!
Anybody notice that Goku's mom's really got it going on?
I don't know what that means, but yeah, sure.
Woohoo!
I love Goku's mom.
Oh.
We did that song parody.
Oh. Okay. Paparazzi, take a moment to appreciate Ox is strong. Take a moment to appreciate the Ox King is stronger than God. Yeah, Ox King's stronger than God. Kami.
Yep.
Dang. That's actually... No, I can't believe it. I'm actually stronger than the Heaven Almighty. He's a much more jolly superior, I'll say that. Pampa Podo. What if during Kid Gohan's time alone during Piccolo's training, he wandered into Slenderman's forest? Slenderman could still be a threat at that time. I'm sorry, I keep remembering, Martin saying, Hey guys, I would like to be in the saga. Can I be in the saga?
You see, here's the thing. As long as Gohan wandered into the forest with $20, he's safe.
Yeah. If he's got $20.
Also, Slenderman is still pretty weak, like Siren Head on the other hand.
Oh yeah, Siren Head, jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. That's a scary boy. Pamparacha, what if Ox was a former GOD candidate who was only rejected because he didn't have the heart for the job? Oh man, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Imagine that.
That's actually fun. That's a fun concept. Could you imagine Ox King as a GOD?
Like, I will destroy your planet.
Oh, imagine that if Beerus saw Ox King like at the Battle of God's Ark. It's like, I see, Ox. It's good to see you again. It's a shame that you actually turned down your candidacy. You wouldn't have been so bad. It's like, you know I don't have the heart to destroy planets. And that
Imagine.
That's his true secret. The reason why he's got so much strength and because he's so big and stuff is because he actually has already known the secrets of God Key, but told no one because he, as part of his agreement, since he said he wasn't going to be a God.
Yeah, that's good.
Imagine Ox King in the God candidate for like.
No, that's a good point. I like that. I like that a lot.
He signed an NDA.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell him about it.
A KDA. Craig Twitchell, my channel's kind of hard to find. The thumbnail is two guys with sunglasses holding a box of cookies. Well, you heard it here, folks. Let's get looking for it. It's called Game Universe. Gobi, what if Saiyans were subconsciously simulated with graphic imagery from gestation and infancy to incite them to purge? Like Piccolo Jr., the androids in Cell. So basically just, kill your family! Kill your family! It just be like... if they were, then that probably would explain it. Like, maybe it's, like, channeled in or something like that. I don't know how, but if that were, then that would probably mean that it was artificially... Again, this goes to our theory, potentially, of what we said about Tuffles. You'll have to check out the discussion next week. But in a way, that would actually kind of make sense. So again, check out our discussion next week. Craig Twitchell, what if new and old Broly fused? Maximum profit! His profit is maximum!
Ooh.
That's what I say.
We would get bro.
It would have to be a Potara fusion, because I don't think either of them would agree to the dance.
No, neither of them would. I don't think so.
They would be called bro.
Bro.
Well, I think if you fuse a Broly and a Broly, you still wind up with a Broly.
Yeah. It's just Broly. Yash Biguri, if you got to interview either Toriyama or Masako Nozawa in the Up on the Lookout, what questions would you ask them? Actually, I would never actually want them on there, because it's just that's just like so. I don't know what I would say. Like, I don't know. I would be too tongue-tied to even go for it. I mean, I'm really tempted to like get in contact with Ian Corlett and maybe get like an interview with him. Perhaps that'd be kind of cool. Because I know that we can talk about cars for a while, because he's very much into cars. I like that.
I would want to ask Masako Nozawa if I had the opportunity to talk to her on Masako's podcast or otherwise. I'd like to ask her how she feels as both a person and an actress, being so intrinsically tied to the character of Goku in Japan. Because, like, she is the Sun family in Japan. She has always been the Sun family, pretty much. And so knowing that, and knowing that all of the old school anime, old school manga guard is old now, you know, and they're on their way out and stuff like that. I think I'd want to ask her, like, you know, intrinsically, how does she feel, since she's so closely tied into this character, about the future of these characters and these stories once she is gone.
I was like, oh, you know, hey, Miss Nozawa, you are going to die soon. How are you going to feel about that? It's really delicate something.
I would say it more politely than that, Haverock.
Yeah.
But it's because it's not about her dying soon either. It's about the fact that she has literally spent generations of being the core, being the DNA of this character, especially in Japan. You know, I think it's going to really affect people in Japan and the world over when Masako Nozawa passes.
Yeah,
and right. I would want to know how she feels about the future of Dragon Ball once she's gone, you know. She's passed into the other world.
I am aware. I'm just teasing.
Yeah, it's banter.
Mm-hmm.
It's banter. Smash Bruno. Smash Bruno asked us about Kami wishing for youth and immortality. Again, it would be the whole conundrum about that I don't think he would want to like tackle. So we did talk about that, Smash. But again, he would rather go for youth because it would just make more sense to him. Gobi, what if GT had been focal on Gohan, Goten, Trunks, and Pan? Right? It would have been so much more better, and it would have truly been the next generation. Z failed to deliver on that front, so GT could have been the best platform possible for that. So, realistically, it would have certainly been the ultimate means to be able to go on from there. Grant Emil, what if Barbary looked closer into Goku's memories and found the suppressed personality of Kakarot? Ooh. Oh. I'm playing the excellent sound.
Excellent.
Oh, Barbary could have a lot of fun with that. Imagine if he regressed. He basically countered the amnesia and turned Goku into an evil Saiyan.
Into a feral Saiyan.
A feral Saiyan, exactly. that would cause a lot of headaches. On top of Majin Vegeta, like, oh my god, I'm playing the sound.
I mean, knowing Babbitt's luck, they would probably turn.
Yeah, no, of course
they will, as a threat, they will outlive him.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be some kind of paradox, but at the same time, it's a really interesting thought, though. Alright, Tempest Mask, on behalf of Dr. Fandom, what if human allies were Turbo Rangers? I'd be cool with that. I like Turbo Rangers. I like that.
Yeah, I liked Turbo Rangers to an extent.
Turbo charge for more. I would say probably
Shift into turbo.
Desert Thunder Turbo Power, and then how they just got Justin. Oh, he ages up apparently.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the introduction of kids who age up in their transformations.
And like, and in the movie, it's just mostly these aliens go budget Ewoks. But yeah, oh man, that movie was fun. I just loved it with Rita Repulsa in bed.
What? The Power Rangers? My advice to you, Diva Tux, run!
That was funny. That was so funny.
I love both Rita and Zed and how they basically just turn into this constantly on the road driving in a camper trailer family, dysfunctional family.
Oh, I know somebody who does the perfect Goldar impression.
Oh gosh.
It's like, hey there, mothers, are we there yet? It's like,
You be quiet, Motormouth. It's like, I do a very decent set.
it's just like always angry all the time. Again, I need to do some skits.
Zed.
I need to do some.
I want to do some Power Rangers skits and what ifs now. That was one of my major jams back in the day. Was Mighty Morphin lore.
What if Power Rangers and VR Troopers met?
Oh gosh, man, VR Troopers.
Oh man, I love VR Troopers.
We are VR. We are.
And I appreciated Jontron making that video. I appreciated it so much. Now he needs to do one about Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Big Bad Beetleborgs. Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Oh man. Okay, let's move on. We're getting down the nostalgia hole. As fun as it is, we need to move on. Warpstar, what kind of story would you tell if Goku was born a Universe 6 Saiyan? Well, things would be much more benevolent for a start. Goku would probably just have a lot more adventures, and he probably wouldn't have bumped his head. But again, it would have been much more kind of like much more friends, much more allies, much less.
More
vicious.
like, you know, a mild superhero guardian of the universe. Show them like defending planets, but not going so insanely strong, you know, against villains.
Yeah.
He'd being that gray area mentor / rival role in that. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I would agree. Kinundo, what if there were crossover what if videos? Oh man, I need to finish more of those what if stories, like to actually then have all the lore to work with. But ultimately, we do want to do a what iffinity, but we'll wait until we got some of the more.
We are, you know, planting some seeds in some of those. Like we have, listen, guys, we have tons of ideas. Like in the case of what ifs, like we've discussed whole series of that. But
yeah,
the ideas come easy. The writing does not.
Yeah, we want to make sure that it actually does it justice. So we'll just say that. Connor, what if Super Saiyan 4 come back to Super? Who would you give it to? I'd give it to Carver or Cauliflower instead of Blue Goten or Trunks. Would it be cool too? Yeah, I mean,
I would give it to Kaba. That would be cool. That would be cool.
That would be cool. That would definitely be cool to, in a way, that's what Universe 6 Saiyans can get. Like, it's actually
and it would
their ancient roots.
Well, and it would be interesting for two major reasons. One, Super Saiyan 4, they get the tail back. Okay, so that would be a little interesting little bit where you could maybe do some Saiyan history to kind of address the fact that, like, why don't Universe 6 Saiyans have their tails, all that other kind of stuff. But also, it would be developing the Universe 6 Saiyans along a different path than, like, all of the Saiyans that you have in Universe 7. Because, like, you've got Vegeta and you've got Goku and stuff like that, and they're going down the path of like acquiring God Ki. Goku's got the whole Ultra Instinct thing going.
Yeah.
You could make it to where you could have that sort of Saiyan heritage leveling that a lot of fans kind of really liked playing with pre-Super.
Yeah.
And you could apply it to the Universe 6 Saiyans instead.
No, definitely. And it gets Super Saiyan 4 into the main canon. Boom. There you go. Vulcan. What if Hercule got Ultra Instinct? Again, that kind of went into our whole what if Hercule beat Cell. Like, he might have had this innate ability to Ultra Instinct without knowing it. So,
again, think about like with the Ultra Instinct, like that would be very early Toriyama. That would be so fun if somebody like Hercule or Monaka had it but couldn't control it. That would be perfect. That would be like if Toriyama cared and wasn't just a name stick to the most of the stuff.
Yeah.
Except the Broly movie, I feel that he would write something like that.
Yeah.
Give it to somebody like again, to character like Monaka or Hercule.
Yeah. No, I would say that. And then he says, what if Bardock trained Gohan and Videl? Also, basically, if he somehow got actually brought back to life, and he just came back and said, hey, turns out you're my grandson. Cool. You seem a bit soft, though. I'll train you for a bit. Okay,
I mean,
bye.
I would like to make an argument that Gohan doesn't need training from Bardock, like he trained Videl.
Maybe like a mindset, perhaps.
Yeah,
and it's one of those things where it's like if you wanted to present like a disparity between technique and power level, that would be one thing. But one of the things we know about all of the Saiyans is that Saiyans are brawlers. Like the only ones that we know like for a fact have any kind of like martial arts style, so to speak, are like the nobles, like Vegeta. Vegeta's got his own like stance and stuff like that, which is then mirrored when you see stuff like when like he meets Kaba and stuff. That's kind of how he knows how Kaba's an important Saiyan, is because he's using the same style that Vegeta does. But like all of the rest of the Saiyans, especially the low class Saiyans, they're brawlers, so they're not going to really be teaching Gohan anything that Gohan doesn't already know. And what's more is Bardock is not as powerful as Gohan. There's no reason why he would train Gohan.
Gohan probably knows more than Bardock.
Yeah. To be quite honest. And it's like you want maybe you want Bardock to train Videl? Okay, but Gohan could teach her better.
Yeah.
Oh man. By the way, Red Dragon, if Paparazzi's got like a super chat to do, just get tag me, Paparazzi, what you were trying to say in those ones if you're having troubles.
It could just be that Paparazzi's just donating, but I'm not entirely sure.
He's trying to add text, but it's not working for some reason. Okay, Soul Fun Gaming. What if Vegeta was Goku's brother? Gine was King Vegeta's wife. Again, that could be an interesting paradox later, that despite all of this blustering, Vegeta thinking he's too superior, no, it turns out he's the older brother of Kakarot. Having that connection, so it's not just a rivalry, it's a sibling rivalry. It would make the whole thing even more nuanced. So, yeah.
Oh, Kakarot, I'm your brother! I'm your brother, Kakarot! I'm your brother! I'm your brother! I'm your brother!
Vulcan. What if Gohan and Kuroda were twins? Impact on the story? If Gohan and Kuroda in the future, if they were like, I don't know, if they were, probably not much impact really, because in the future, it would be just like that whole, everyone's in it together. So I think really that wouldn't really kind of make much of an impact, no. Yeah. Warpstar. Also, based on what was asked earlier, what if Gine was Broly's mother? Say Goku and Raditz are still the same, but Broly has a mom figure now.
Broly, what if Gine was everyone's mother?
Yeah, everyone wants Gine to be their mother. Yeah,
everybody wants Gine to be their
orphan. Bam! It turns out Gine was also his mother.
But she'd be basically like Black Widow, as in like Broly. The sun is setting, Broly. The sun's setting. It's getting dark. It's getting.
Oh gosh. Except that was a romantic relationship, which means that now you are implying Gine and Broly as a romance.
Oh no! Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. About
Gine is apparently with everybody this stream. Everyone.
And it's everyone's mother. I still ship her with Grandpa Gohan. I don't care.
Paparazzi, I think one of the super chats was supposed to be asking Sophie and I, have we been reading the Power Ranger comics? I haven't, because I don't have immediate access to comics.
Yeah, I do not. I do have a Comixology account, but I haven't really been able to justify the kind of purchase pricing that Western comics have compared to something like manga or anime. And I have read bits and pieces here and there of certain comics. I got to take a look at a few issues back when they were doing the DC crossover with Power Rangers. I got to look at a few issues of the Shattered Grid bit, which I thought was really cool. The whole Lord Drakon thing was really... I like the idea of an evil ranger. I'm not as stoked on it. Like, Tommy makes sense because he's been the one who's been across multiple generations of Power Ranger stuff. But honestly, if I was going to have one of the good Power Rangers become like an evil version of themselves and dominate, I would have probably gone for like the rivalry aspect and had it be Jason instead, or even somebody else, like maybe Billy or something. But I like the greater lore of the concept of Power Rangers when it comes to stuff like the tech, the morphing grid, the continuity, the various different powers that exist throughout time and space. And it's something I've always wanted to explore. So if I can ever find like a cheap way of getting my hands on some of the more prominent or well-regarded issues of the comic series, I'll probably check them out.
Yeah. No, I would say so. And Vulcan, thank you very much for your super chat as well. Okay. Vulcan then goes again. What if Gohan was a cross-dresser instead of being a great Saiyaman, and Videl was attracted to Gohan because of it?
Well, I don't really think it would matter too much, as long as it's done tastefully.
Yeah, I think that's if we keep the answer to that, as long as it's done tastefully, which with Toriyama, probably not. But if it was
probably
us,
not,
we would.
Yeah, if it was done tastefully, then sure, that's not a big thing. It kind of damages the narrative to a certain extent, because one of the big reasons Videl gets in Gohan's face about the whole Saiyaman thing is because Saiyaman's like crowding in on her turf, you know, because she was the vigilante essentially of the city, you know. She had the ends with the cops and all this stuff, and Saiyaman, this hero nobody, pops in and starts taking over the crime fighting. It kind of ticked her off. If Saiyaman isn't like a thing, then it kind of damages that aspect of the relationship.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as like the cross-dressing thing goes, it's like, okay, but I mean, if you're gonna have it be like cross-dressing or something, why not go the full 9 yards as far as representation goes, and have an arc wherein Gohan realizes that they actually identify as a girl, you know, or something like that, and have an actual trans representation, LGBT representation. LGBT plus representation in anime has always been finicky, and I think that it would be interesting to maybe see that, especially in a shonen like Dragon Ball. But you know, ultimately it does come down to our original point. As long as it is done respectfully and tastefully.
Yes, absolutely. I would totally agree with that. What if Trojan and Selene teamed up? Oh man, Trojan and Selene are total chaotic evil versus like maniacal evil. Oh, that would... I'm just playing the sound. Nothing would get done because like Trojan just destroys things. Seriously, I've written part 9 of Frieza Turned Good. You'll say that even Cooler thinks Trojan's an SOB. Like seriously, even Cooler. This is Cooler we're talking about here. Well, yeah, Seaton 2. Hey, Masako, have you seen the new forms of Xeno Goku, Xeno Vegeta, and Janemba lately? Yes, those Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 things, incredibly boring. Because it's just sparkly red hair. I'm like, is that it? Okay. You're going to sell plenty of models of that, aren't you? Oh, yes.
Why make interesting models when they know that they can just recolor or add sparkles and it'll still sell?
Exactly, because Super Saiyan 4 Goku now looks more like Gogeta closely. Looks more like Gogeta, pretty much. Soulfan Gaming.
Janemba is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's alright. Soulfan Gaming. What if Ginyu's body swap was permanent? You can't swap the same body twice. Well, if Ginyu's body swap was permanent, then he pretty much, like, you couldn't swap with the same body twice. Well, basically, it would just mean that, it would just mean that you couldn't swap with Ginyu, really. Like, the way Ginyu would find his body, he'd have to be a bit more strategic. Basically, it's a one-way ticket, pretty much.
I think what would wind up happening is you'd have an issue where certain people might wind up stuck in different bodies. But it actually brings me to a question I'd considered. We're getting more into the stuff with the with Yard Radians and stuff like that, and spirit control and stuff like that. And it made me think for a moment: is that kind of what the body change technique probably was? A form of like spirit control? Because like it's transferring one soul or two souls across the power into different bodies. So it's like, could that have been a technique that was kind of a proto form of spirit control, and like, could it possibly be one of the techniques that the good guys could learn? You know, the Z fighters could learn from the Yard Radians, and if that was the case, any permanent loss of body might be at least mitigated somewhere down the line through the utilization of spirit control, and any other more permanent loss could probably just be negated by wishing upon the Dragon Balls.
And as we know, like Vegeta hinted that he probably could defuse Nail and Kami from Piccolo, and that leaves me a question. So he could probably reverse body swap as well. Maybe Ginyu was originally a Radian.
Maybe.
Possibly. I mean, a lot of people...
No, wait, because I actually did a video about this, about the origin story. I think Ginyu actually used to be the suave, kind of like humanoid guy who would always trying to be impress people. I did do a video about it.
I think he stole that body as well. I remember that we did this. I think he stole that body.
Oh, okay. Okay, my mistake.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have always considered that the possibility that Ginyu's body that we see in the Namek saga is not his original body. But if we consider
only in anime,
if we consider everything that we know now about like the sheer diversity of techniques and stuff like that can be applied to learning spirit control and stuff like that from the Yard Radians. Who knows? Maybe Ginyu was a Yard Radian, or perhaps somebody trained by the Yard Radians in some degree or another, but maybe he wasn't permitted to train any further when they found out just how evil he was, or something like that.
My theory is because, like, I know that like lifespans of aliens might differ, but like when they have shown Ginyu's looking exactly the same in the Broly movie, I had that feeling that maybe like them, like the canonical version, because all the stories that we have are not really canonical. Maybe they were genetically engineered. Maybe they were bred and they were like kept in a stasis for a moment. Like maybe Ginyus were some sort of genetical mutants.
Maybe. No, again, there are so many what ifs and like possibilities, but just with Toriyama, they'll never be explained. No. And Soulfan Genning then says, what if Toriyama was good at romantic storytelling? Well, he probably would have made Chi-Chi still very much like the doe-eyed damsel in distress, and actually try and do something with that, and actually make something pretty sweet, instead of reverting to the only character model he knew at the time, which was basically a very aggressive, brash woman, like with Launch. That's the only kind of woman he really knew how to write, like, consistently. But, yeah, so basically it would be like he could actually write more stuff. Like maybe with Krillin and 18, we'd see some more of that. With Bulma and Vegeta, we'd actually get to see them interact as a couple properly. Like, or maybe they're courting. It would just be that, you know, it would definitely be something along those lines. But yeah.
Real quick, Papa Poto wanted to ask a question earlier and didn't get an opportunity to.
Yeah.
He wants to ask the question real quick before we end. So
Okay.
just go ahead and normal chat it, Papa Poto.
Yeah, Poto.
And we'll use that as the end of the stream.
Yeah, no, it's just because I'm very conscious that I need to kind of check up on her. Philly's been looking after her for the last couple of hours, so I feel like I need to take over. So
yeah,
just so you know. So, but we've had a good run of like quite a lot of people with some good stories. So we've taken a note of things, and just so you know, everybody, even if you aren't able to do a super chat, Haverock, Red Dragon, and Sophie are looking at the chat all the time.
Yeah.
So we're very much like very aware of what you're saying. And Podo's thing was, what if the Super Saiyan 4 form's appearance was what the base form looked like, and vice versa for Saiyans? Maybe back in the day, like with evolution and stuff like that. So maybe it just kind of like that was the primeval Saiyan.
Yeah, I mean, after all, like the Super Saiyan 4 form is a lot more closely resembles like the designs of like Sun Wukong and stuff like that in the actual mythology with, you know, the furry body. It's a lot more monkey-esque. So for all we know, they may have looked more similar to that early on in Saiyan genetic history and kind of evolved further away from that as time went on.
Yeah.
Or if it was the true Saiyan form, I mean, it's like, it could be. I mean, I always kind of felt like the pinnacle of power for a Saiyan would represent some kind of form in between Ozaru and actual Saiyan. Also, Soulfan Gaming, dude, that was supposed to be our last question. What are you doing? What if Fu was in Super? Honestly, I don't think it would really matter all that much. I don't see Fu as a particularly intimidating villain myself, but I also am not super into the Super Dragon Ball Heroes continuity, so I can't really speak to that.
It would be our ultimate fusion of Kabuto. Naruto would be in the series in some way, because Fu is basically Kabuto, only with different planets and different dimensions and stuff. So pretty much that, really. Go and watch Super Dragon Ball Heroes, because it has Super in the title. But there you go. On that note, everybody, we are going to wrap things up. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Look forward to the next Roundtable live stream on Friday, coming up this next Friday. And tomorrow, it'll be What If Zamasu Did Nothing Wrong Part 6. All that remains to be said is thank you all so much. This all really helps support the channel. Really keeps it all going. And thank you, Haverock and Sophie, for your work.
Thank you as well.
Thank you
for listening. So have a good night, everybody. Take care. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.